Hello there everyone, welcome back to the PRL Division 3, the Singapore Grand Prix. I am joined by none other than my good old co-commentator who doesn't have any faith in me when I'm racing, Mr. Tam D23.
Oh, I was really hoping you didn't see that. Oh well.
Oh yes, I saw it, don't you worry, don't you worry.
Anyway, so we're here in Singapore with a full grid of 20 drivers to tackle one of the most difficult circuits on the F1 calendar, Marina Bay in Singapore. Let's get it underway.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to say the least. I think this is probably one of the first ever times we've had a full grid. So
Yeah.
this just makes it even better. I love to see when we have like a full grid on such like maybe even a tight circuit. Would have been even better if we had that for Monaco though.
Oh,
That would
interested to
be
know
fun.
how many drivers of that full grid would actually finish the race, but
Probably about half of them, but hey ho, what can you do? Anyway, enough about Monaco, we're on about Singapore, the only night race that is on the calendar. Unless sometimes you can probably make Bahrain as a night race, but
well, it's the only
usually
full night race. There's a
yeah,
couple of there's a couple of day to night transitions on the
yeah,
calendar, but this is the only
full
full-on
night
I
race,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if we go with the standings, because one of the guys in PRO were a little bit too lazy to update it, I believe the old school is still in first in the
By
championship.
30, yeah. I believe he's 13 points ahead of Coco.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure on that. I believe someone in the chat can inform us about that. Anyway, who do we have? I believe Robert might be one of the first cars. Coco, actually, I believe Coco's a bit further ahead, so he's on the soft tires for his banker lap, and also ahead of him, I believe, is Team Wolf as well. But these guys will be among the first people to cross the line and
Start their
qualifying
laps,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Rick reckons that old school's not going to get any points for tonight, so that's going to be that's going to be interesting. If that does happen, that will change the championship completely. New Aloysius says this track is horrible. I'm horrible. No, you're not horrible. I'm horrible because I was just not having fun at all. Hammers has just left the session.
Oh, this happens so often. Yeah, I believe I've just seen it. He's lagged. His car's come to a stop on the circuit completely. If you can look, I believe that's a Haas driving through it there. Yeah, his car has literally just
Oh, his teammates just drove through him, and he's just been disqualified from the session.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we see this often with Hammers. He just has pretty poor connection, I think. So that's pretty awful luck for him. But anyway, I'm gonna look for Coco now.
Team Wolf has spun.
And Coco seems to have got a huge amount of oversteer coming off that hairpin. As we're gonna look there, we're gonna go on board with him going into the third sector. A little bit wide there, he had to get out of the throttle a bit. Now coming down into this final complex corners, medium speed all the way through here, picks us in fourth gear, get very close to the wall, and got to be careful there. And you can see nicely onto the apex, onto the bridge, a bit more oversteer going into the final few corners. Car's a little bit loose, maybe not quite confident in the setup. Team Wolf has gone out and Coco has actually
Coco comes into the pits. Who's going to be the next one across then? It would have been Robert. He's just cut the pit lane entirely, forgot where to brake. I think... Yeah, he done what Mr. Harrenwag did as well.
The Wave sets off the timing sheets with a 38.1 on the saw. It's not a bad lap from him. I think if we see some laps in the Ultras, I think we'll be getting into possibly into the 35s. Even we've got a few cars on hypers that could even go a bit quicker than that, so we'll see how these guys get on. Karkin in LFC, Morgan goes quickest.
There's the first one.
36.5, but on hypers, so that's quite interesting there. We'll see how representative that is when we get more times on the boards.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they are actually going to be opting for. I know a lot of people will tend to do two-stop because I think it does say that a two-stop is actually a quicker strategy as opposed to doing a one-stop on ultras to soft tyres. Sometimes even Jeff would recommend doing a three-stop. I have no idea why, but that's just the way how it goes.
Jeff isn't the smartest human being alive, so
no, not particularly, not particularly. But Also, what will happen, tyre temps will play a massive part into this race as a whole. Now, I don't know if anybody was watching the D2 race at all, but tyre temps, as I said, played a massive part. A lot of people were struggling, including myself, to manage the tyre temps to the point where it would be like cool and you'd be able to just drive normally. They'd be overheating a lot and it would just basically cause a lot of people to struggle. So tyre temps aren't actually turned off here, so it is going to make this race a lot more interesting to see how drivers will do. And I would probably say it's better for them to opt for like the harder compound tyre if they want to have any chance of doing well at this race.
Yeah, that's why Morgan could be in a fairly dire position here. Despite being off original pole for the moment, he's put himself on those hypers, so unless he's able to improve on a harder set of tyres, he is going to have to start the race on them, and he is going to be, after a couple of laps, those tyres will be on fire, so to speak. So I think he's going to put himself in a bit of an awkward position there, because he does need to set a quicker time on a harder compound if he wants to have a realistic chance of a good result here.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Also, just saying as well, we do have quite a lot of new drivers on the grid. Didn't mention, we've got Morgan. Well, I say quite a lot. There's a couple new drivers on the grid.
Two.
Yeah, that's what I say, couple. Morgan, and I think is how you pronounce it, even though he is someone that's also in the same org as I am. Eistin? I think is how you pronounce it. He'll probably tell me later on as to how you say it, but...
I mean, I'm going to say it's his own fault for putting two vowels right next to each other at the start of his name, so...
He is Welsh, so it's understandable.
Yeah. Anyway, we've still only got 10 drivers set time at the moment, so it's quite a long lap run here at Singapore, so it's going to be quite a slow start to this session as we get some time to the board. I'm watching Adri coming around the final corner now, and he pops at P3 on the 38.2 on the soft tyres. Certainly not a terrible lap from him. Just behind Wave, who we know to be a very, very fast driver. Heated is just coming around to start the lap. He was very wide in the final corner, and he's still going to start it. I don't know if he was invalid. There's a good chance that he was. Going to turn 1, and just to get, don't know if he's going all out here because he may be valid. He gets a bit of wheel spin on the exit there, coming down into turn 4, I believe. Really got to use all the track here. It's a pretty nice corner, as he's able to take that reasonably well. He's on the overlay is saying that he's on the hypers, but on my screen he's on the soft. So
I think he is on the softs. Let me just double check though. Yeah, he is on the soft tyres.
Okay, so something's going on with my standings. I'm not sure what's happened there, but anyway, we've got Javo, I believe, who's just starting the lap. He's got quite high ERS, so I'd imagine so. Who else we've got Coco as well, probably just starting a lap. And I believe Robert is on a flying lap, so obviously he bailed out of his earlier, so now he's going all out here. It's all over the curve though, a lot of oversteer, and this is the apex there as well, but he's still going to keep going there, trying to get on the throttle now. In the corner, he is going to pit, so maybe invalidated. He does take the pit entry a bit better this time, but he is going to have to go at that again. So we've only got 11 cars to set a lap so far.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Heat. He's just come across the bridge section now, coming on towards the final chicane, and then about to come over for the final 2 corners.
Just kept that on the track. He manages to get on the run to the line. He didn't invalidate, and he has a 39.1.
That's a pretty good lap.
Decent lap. I'd expect him to be putting on maybe a set of ultras later on in the session. Maybe even going for another run on this set. He's still on he's still on hot lap mode, so we'll see. As he gets a decent exit there on team at the end of the first sector here, but he's running quite low in the RS. I'm interested to see if he continues on this lap. Breaking down in the second sector, he runs a bit wide. I think he just about kept that on the track though, so well done from him. He tries to get a decent exit and swing it out here. Another really difficult corner because the wall just comes at you, and Harkonnen, it's like he's had some sort of incident. He's out of the session, unfortunately.
I didn't see that.
Oh, there he is. Oh, I've just seen him on board defeated. He's crashed just before the bridge, so...
Ah,
yeah,
Coco.
anyway, Coco does a 36.3 on the Ultras. That is a pretty damn good lap, and that sets him in a good position. He might have another set of Ultras on. No, I don't think he will. So that might be the fastest time he sets in this session. I'm not sure. He might hop on some hypers and see how it goes, but I'm interested to see how he plays it, because this is a very tactical qualifying session. If you go for the hypers and just try and get out in front early on, of course you're paying the price of tire wear, tire temperatures. Go on the ultras, you kind of get a balance. So if you go on softs, you're going to be looking to start a bit further back, but they're going to be much easier to manage. So a lot of different strategies you can run in this qualifying session, which makes it quite interesting.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. And another thing as well, I was just watching Maka doing his hot lap, and he looked like he was going to end up going on pole for it. But he backed off at the last minute and obviously only put himself in as a 139.2. So Maka could be in contention with these top guys for this race. I know that Maka has been quick in the past, but
yeah,
who knows?
He is on hypers though, so I reckon he's probably just sandbagged, because he's probably got the knowledge that the hyper probably isn't the tire to go for.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Maka does look like he's reasonably quick around here.
So I'm expecting him to go into the ultras and probably pop in a more representative time later on in the session.
Yeah, will be interesting to see. Old School is actually in P11. I think just starting a lap now.
We're doing a lap on board with the championship leader. Let's just take turn one pretty nicely there. And you've got to try and hook it up and try not to touch that outside curve. He does it pretty well. Gets a nice exit as well though. And then swinging it out. Using a lot of the track on the entry and on the exit. Bit of a slide through the apex. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. Now he's coming down now towards the second sector of this lap here. Trying to break as late as possible to Williams ahead. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way too much. That is Emperor, and it's an AI car, so it's not going to get out of the way. Old School compromised quite a bit by that, unfortunately. So he's on the ultras as well. He might actually have to pit this lap again to get another run in, but I think he wants to set his time on the ultras, so he's just going to continue on with this now, going into the second sector. A little bit wide, bit of oversteer, and now he comes into the hairpin now. Bit late on the brakes, he's going to miss the apex, but it's not a bad thing because he can manage to get a nice exit there. You see he's quite aggressive on the upshifts, trying to get the throttle down nicely. Coming down into the third sector now. There's a lot of medium speed corners. He takes a very nice apex there, gets a decent enough exit as well, being very aggressive on that throttle pedal. And now down here, you want to try and take a lot of this curve and really attack this corner. Really get as close to the wall as you dare. That was very nicely done from Old School. Now coming down into the under the bridge, under the tunnel, whatever you want to call it, and you can see now trying to get as close to the wall in the entry, take a lot of curve, and again open up this corner, really attack it a bit wide. Not going to be too bad for him now. Coming down into the final two corners, goes very aggressive, takes a lot of speed round there, and he does put it in P3, but I think that car of Emperor did cost him a lot of time on that lap.
Yeah, I reckon that could have been a potential pole position if Emperor did not have an AI car. We've said this before, guys. There's no point in putting it in as an AI car. You may as well just drive it back to the pits, so you're not getting in anyone else's way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just ruins other people's laps. So don't do it, please. It just makes it. It's just unfair on the person that's doing their lap. And we just had a prime example of that, of what's just happened there. So we always say it's best just to drive it. Just keep your car driving until you get to the pits. As soon as you get to the pits, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking at Bree right now, who I believe has just started a lap. He's on the ultra soft tyres, and he's been in very good form recently, picking up a win and a third place in the recent races. He's only in a medium ERS setting, which is interesting. So I'm not sure if he's going all out on this lap. Maybe he's just saving it for later on in the lap. You can see he takes that very nicely there, gets a nice exit. Coming down now to another very tricky corner, and really on it. Taking a nice line there. Bit of oversteer on the exit, and they're coming down now. Bit conservative on the brakes, runs a bit wide, and swings it out there. You see that debris from, of course, India Karkin having that contact. I'm not sure what he's doing with his ERS though. He's still got it on medium.
Oh, Andrew's
Andrew
retired.
crashes. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. I'm not sure if he was going to go for another lap because he'd already set a lap on the ultras. But Coco, I'd say he's looking really impressive and very fast so far in that 36.3, and it looks like others are going to struggle to really get near it.
Old School's retired as
Old
well.
School. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure what's going on there. Of course, it's very easy to have incidents at this track. I'm not sure if Old
Unless
School,
it was in the pit lane that he's retired.
I think there's a good chance that happened, realising that he wasn't going to get.
Oh, he crashed it at the
run.
pit entry. I've just seen it from B's point of view.
Oh.
He crashed it at the pit entry. Oh dear.
Oh, man.
Oh.
I don't think it would have made much difference, to be honest, because I don't think he would have gotten a run anyway. Bree gets a lot of curb on the entry to that corner, going into the end of the first sector, and he's backed off. He must have invalidated his lap by running wide.
He did go as a P6 though.
Yeah, and he was running very low ERS as well. So I'd say Bree does look pretty quick around this track. And who else is on the lap? So Heated is setting up for a lap here.
Jabo's on the lap, I believe.
Jabo on the lap. He's on those ultra soft tyres, coming down into the third sector. Trying to break nice and late there. So just a lot of steering lock. Tries to get it out there, gets a decent exit, and now coming down now into the slow speed section of the track. Just nice lot of curb on the inside and takes a lot of speed. That was really nicely through there. And then hits that apex there. Bit of oversteer, but it's good because it sets up your line going into these final few corners with a lot of curb on the inside and manages to get a nice line there. This is looking pretty good from Jabo. Around the final two corners, decent run through there, and on the exit he goes P6 on a 37.9. So that's certainly not an awful lap from him, but still a long way off Coco, who's actually, I'm watching him now, he's on the hypers now, setting up for a lap.
Yeah. Karkin has actually just said in the chat to watch Robert's lap, so we'll watch Robert. He's on the Hypersoft tyres. Has just done the first sector. I didn't get to see what time he actually done on the first sector, but looking at it already, it's looking like it's going to be a very good lap from good old Robert.
Good old Robert, everyone's favourite Romanian. Here he comes now, takes a nice little curve on the inside there, trying to run it out to the wall and really open up this hairpin as much as you can. And try and get a clean exit, and he does get a very nice exit off the hairpin, and that's going to catapult him down this short straight, down into the last part of the lap there.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, LFC. Gone P6 just disbehind his teammate.
Always great to see LFC do well. I think it brings a smile to everyone's faces. So Heated's just displaced him there with the 37.6. He rounds off his qualifying session. Anyway, we've got Robert now, who'll probably be hoping to even be on pole position on those hypers, who really can't have anything else. Wave does an absolutely incredible lap on the
Ultra Soft. Robert goes P3. Who else have we got? We've got Morgan on a lap, we've got Coco on a lap. Jabo, I think, is going to be the next one. He's just coming in at the final chicane now. Is he going to get a good exit? He has got a pretty good exit out of it. How we're looking around these last two corners, he looks like he's backed off. So I think that's the end for Jabo. So P10 is the best he's going to do. What about Bree?
Bree, now what's interesting, he's done several laps.
He's run out of ERS.
So he's not going to have the most grab up to the line.
P5.
He goes P5. So I think if he'd have done that lap earlier, he could have been maybe up with those top two. But unfortunately, that hasn't quite worked out for him. Who else
on board with Maka. On board with Maka.
Round the final corner, up to the line.
I think he invalidated it. That would have put him in That would have put him ahead of Old School in P7, P8 even. They've just gone 10th.
And that looks like it's. Oh.
I think that was it. Or unless Robert done another lap.
Well, I definitely saw a change near the top of the standing. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Someone pulled off a surprise. We'll wait to see as we're waiting for these guys to all ready up. And it was Morgan that went P2.
Yeah. On the Hypersoft tyres.
So he is going to. So basically, for his race, he needs to jump wave at the start if he wants to have a a good result, because those hypers do not last very long at all.
But anyway, for the qualifying, we have obviously Wave in P1 with the ultra soft tyres. A lot of mixed tyres here between the ultras and the hypers. Morgan in second, Coco third, Robert in fourth, Bree in fifth, Eyston in sixth, if that's the way you pronounce your name, Adri in seventh, Old School in eighth, Heated in ninth, Dave in P10, so they always have to start on that tyre. LFC 11th, Jabbo 12th, Maka 13th, Ryan in 14th. I didn't get to see the guys below, but I think it was Ibo. Who else? I think Ibo, Emperor, Ryan, Bellon, and I think the other two non-finishers, which was James and someone else.
Hey man, you don't need to recite a whole grid of 20 drivers. We're not expecting that from you.
Thought I'd try it anyway.
You know, it looks like James has managed to get himself back in. Hopefully his lag doesn't cause too many issues for drivers in the race. It's just, unfortunately, this seems to be a bit of a recurring theme with him, just having these issues. So James is here, Robert readying up, and now we're getting ready for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Yes, as we're just waiting for these drivers to do their setups, do their tyres, to what they want. There's a barrier in the background. I don't know if you can see that. It's just absolutely glitching on them on my screen. It is a full grid Sarger, so this is going to make the track even more interesting as we go through the race. But as these guys are now doing on their formation lap,
Yeah,
who do you think's going to come out?
I find it difficult to bet against Wave, to be honest. He looked very impressive in that qualifying session, and we know that when he's on it, you know, he can dominate this field. So he looked very, very impressive in qualifying, and I think he's got, with Morgan potentially acting once his tires go off, if he keeps able to keep ahead of Morgan, that Red Bull could be a bit of a buffer between him and Coco and the rest of the field. So I'm gonna go with Wave on this one.
Yeah, it does look like this is Wave's race to lose. If for whatever reason something else happens to him, then be interesting. It looks like then that means that Morgan, obviously taking part in his first D3 race, could end up winning the race. But who knows? I know a lot of people say that, as I said, the 2-stop earlier is a lot quicker than what the 1-stop is. But we shall see if that does play a part, or if drivers are going to be able to preserve their tyre temps. Like I said, tyre temps in this is going to play a massive part. Will the Haas and the Toro Rosso crash this time?
Only thing, I'm just hoping for a clean start. It's very tight, and a grid of 20 very hungry drivers. This could be chaos. I'm hoping these guys are sensible and they're able to keep it clean, keep their heads, I guess, and just manage to navigate these first few corners okay. Well, the field is extremely bunched up because Singapore, barriers all around the track. You know, a mistake for one driver could be catastrophic for several others.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what is going to actually happen, but these guys now will just come in on the final chicane as they're all about to start forming up to the grid. Emperor was disqualified from the session. I wonder who he managed to hit. Hopefully not his teammate.
I'm surprised he didn't take anyone with him in this qualification, so it's quite interesting. Anyway, we've got the first drivers now beginning to line up on the grid. Tension is building. Let's see what's going to happen. The Singapore Grand Prix about to get underway. So we wait for the rest of the grid to form up, as we've got Bellin lining up now, and we've got all the drivers ready. Let's get it underway. Let's do it.
Here we go, the red lights are about to go out for the Singapore Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go. It looks like the Coco's actually got a really good start. I don't think he's going to be any carnage towards the back of the grid. It looks like there's a lot of people going wide.
Bree is in the wall. Bree got tagged going into turn 2. He's lost out there. as we've got side by side up and down the field. The two Ferraris going at it there. LFC on the inside of Old School. Old School gets a nice switchback on him, gets up into PA after having not the best start. But as you can see, a lot of cars going side by side. In the background, Dave as well, having a little look at LFC as we've got Maka attacking Jabo there for P11.
Dave's just gone the inside of LFC, and obviously it looks like LFC's managed to get the switchback on him, which is now giving Jabo the place against Dave. Dave is now back outside of the points, and Jabo is now into the points position. We've got battle up here for P6 between Adri and Iestin. I think that's how you still say his name. Iestin manages to hold the position, but Adri is not done yet. He looks like he might try and see if he can get the move done into the hairpin. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he does run really wide though, and that's now giving Heated the chance. Not managed to, because Adri has gotten a much better run, much better traction.
Coco immediately pressuring the Red Bull of Morgan. Morgan will probably start struggling within a couple of laps there. Same with Robert, Eiston, all those Hypersoft runners near the front of the field. Outside the top 10, we've got a mix of tyre choices between soft and ultras. These guys further down the field, so maybe trying soft just to see how far they can go into this race. Ryan has somehow managed to pick up a penalty in the first lap of the race, so maybe he got squeezed off quite a few times and obviously got warnings for that. But it seems like, apart from Bree ending up in the wall, a very clean start to this race, I've got to say. Yeah,
it looks like that's a new record for people getting a penalty in the race in the first lap. Unfortunate for Ryan, but it is what it is. It is Codemasters. Coco still right on the back of Morgan. Maybe try and see if he can get the move done on the straight.
Maka ran very wide out of turn 1, and that's going to give Hammers a little look at him. Not quite close enough to get out there, but anyway, Coco now having a look down the inside of Morgan, going into the second sector, and he's able to get it done on the Red Bull. That was swift from Coco. He's managed to get through, but he's already 2 seconds behind the leader of Wave, who has looked so impressive early on.
Yeah, we've got we've also got the train for P5 again, similar to the D2 race. Iestin, Adri, Heated, Old School, and Jabo all fighting for this 5th position. And you've got LFC trying to keep his last point position from Dave, Maka, James, Karkanen, and Ryan. All really close to each other. Oh, Roberts managed to get through. Morgan! What's happened to Morgan? He spun it.
Must have gone off into the hairpin. Oh, and LFC goes almost inside of him. And that's so unfortunate for Morgan. He had a decent gap for these guys already, so he could have even had some solid points, but now he's going to hurt. And Adrian, down the inside goes Dave, and he's got it to the wall. Oh no, what's happened there? Dave has just sent it from a long way back. Morgan has managed to carry on, but Dave is out on the spot. Oh dear, that's a disaster for the Rhino driver, who I believe was looking at a solid P4 in the championship, but now that's going to be under some serious jeopardy.
Yeah, it was looking really good for the Red Bull driver on his debut on the of PRL, but has not just gone well at all for him. And now down in P17, has to get his front wing changed. He's almost certainly going to be towards the back of the grid, just having a fight with Bree for last position.
Now that's train back. Eiston gets a lot of oversteer going out of turn 1, and that's going to put Adri caught out. He goes to the inside on the Renault. That's so aggressive of Adri. He's got into the wall, and that's allowed Old School to have a look. He gets through on all of these guys. Heated now on the inside of Adri, who just misjudged that. Adri losing out here several places. He's trying to go right on the outside of Heated, but Heated able to hold him off very nicely there. The Toro Rosso now is going to be looking at Eiston, who'll be struggling hugely on those hypers.
Yeah, RJ saying in the chat that Dave Bomb did not work. No, it definitely didn't, and it looks like his teammate is under pressure from Heated. Heated maybe looking down the inside of him. Eiston almost just spins it, but manages to hold it still, getting a lot of oversteer on around these corners. He's been tugged, and he's just gone into the bridge.
He's able to keep going.
And that's in the background as well.
I think Jabo may have lost his wing in that, so
I think Adri's lost part of it as well.
After a very clean start to this race, it seems like it's descended into typical Singapore chaos at this stage. Heated, though, has managed to keep his nose clean throughout this, and he is now trying to reap the rewards as he pressures Eiston for that P5. He switches back to the inside. This is a scary place to go side by side. I think he's going to be sent
Jabbo's trying it
from a long way back.
Jabbo
he spins on the inside wall. He's hit LFC as well. Oh, that's a disaster for several cars. Jabbo just getting
Jabbo's
caught
continue going.
He's got major front wing. He's got major front wing damage though, and Karkkonen's always having a look at him, and James also pets. He must have got caught up in that. Several cars getting damage early on, and Easton, after just 3 laps into the pit,
speeding in the pit lane as well.
Wow, chaos in this 3rd lap of this race, and towards the front now, Robert seems to have lost out to Old School. These hypers just not lasting at all, as we predicted really, and Robert down into P4, but he has got a bit of a gap to Heated behind him. LFC and Karkkonen though, they've managed to just keep clean throughout this whole thing, and now on those soft tyres, they're in a great position here.
They are in a very good position to actually get a decent points, potentially even getting on the podium with these guys, but looking at it, Morgan all the way down the bottom from 16 places. Maka looks like he's just moved ahead of Easton. They're going side by side. And Easton actually keeps the position, but Maka looks like he could potentially get a better run. But Easton's actually got the DRS from Maka. Maka, though, has got the slipstream. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up with him. No, he's not going to go for the dive either. Ibo is indeed on for some points as well, as Yari has just said in the chat. So
and he might be looking at better things there as Emperor ran wide coming out the hairpin. He's now got the McLaren all over him there. Even though I don't think he's going to go for that far back, he hangs back, but he knows that there is a good result on the cards for him here, and the same with Emperor. Both of these guys running in the points at the moment.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. A lot of people already struggled and managed to pit already. Karkkonen looks like he's actually run out of fuel already. Is it showing on my telemetry that he's got a yellow fuel gauge, which means that he's already underfueled. But he is going side by side with LFC.
LFC ran wide, coming around the final corner. The Ferrari drops back. He's having a little look at the turn 1, doesn't go where it thinks better of it. And now got Ryan on the back of both of these guys, and these guys probably not used to running in the points, apart from maybe Karkkonen. But yeah, these guys now on for a very solid result here, just by staying out of trouble. And LFC and Ryan are in a decent position here, and the Toro Rosso will be looking to try and get past as quick as possible. Team Wolf has gone out. He must have crashed in the last part of the lap. You can see now Ryan though, he's very close to LFC, doesn't go for it though, plays it sensible, plays it safe, and he runs wide. Going out, Davis jumped out of the session after of course he made a bit of an error earlier on in the race, but Ryan not quite able to get past LFC. Evo still having a look at Emperor. He gets all over that inside curve, which probably just compromises run. Emperor stays P9, and you can see LFC though Evo looking pretty damn quick on the back of him, and Emperor struggling to just make these apexes by the looks of things, but he's still running in the points, which he'd be pretty happy with. Bellon is a bit further back, again just starting quite far down the field, I believe. So yeah, he started down in P17, so he's actually had a very nice run, but he's actually the most of the cars that haven't made a pit stop, which kind of just shows carnage. But the top 11 are the only ones that haven't pitted just 5.5 laps into this race.
Oh, Karkkonen! He's lost it at the bridge section.
Yeah, he must have crashed into that outside wall, just taking a bit too much speed.
No, it doesn't look like it. It looked like he went a bit too wide, actually. Looking at people's point of view, it's his front right that has actually crashed it. So I think he's gone a bit wide going into the corner and has just completely lost it and is crashed in the middle of the bridge. And
Robert pits now onto the soft tyres. He did take those hypers.
Oh, Maka's really been affected by it. Oh, it hasn't ghosted.
Oh, no. How's that happened? Maka out of the race in such an unfortunate way as Diablo drives past there, but I'm just going to point out Robert has pitted from those hypers, and he's interestingly put on the soft tyres of compounds. He is going to try and get all the way to the end of the race, which we did see in the D2 race with a couple of drivers, as Ryan now, round the outside of LFC, gets forced a bit wide by the Ferrari. They're side by side going into the remainder of this section. LFC pinches him to the inside and gets up into P5 for the Ferrari. He's able to maintain that place, I should say, as Ryan did try and have a go at him, but it's not quite worked out for him. LFC still in P5.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good points result for the Ferrari drivers. Old School, obviously, the championship leader being in P3 and LFC in P5. So this is just going to help their constructors' hopes even more. I think I could be wrong, but I think the Saubers might actually just be ahead in that, well, at that point. But makes it even more interesting for the constructors as a whole. But LFC managing to hold his own up into P5. Again, very unfortunate for what has actually happened with Maka crashing into an unghosted car for him, but for the rest, it was ghosted. I think LFC may have just lost a little bit of his front wing.
Yeah, he has. Just seen the debris there from that, so a little bit of an error from LFC. He's still got Ryan all over him. Of course, he is going to be going further into this race as well. At least he's hoping to. So that is going to be a big one.
He's actually coming to the pit.
That's ruined his race then, because he was intended to go a long way, but now that damage has just forced him into pitting there. Emperor and Evo still very close together on the track, as the McLaren not quite close enough into turn 1, can't quite get through. LFC though, is getting a wing fix. That's really unfortunate for him. That was such a small mistake that has ultimately cost him a chance of a really good points finish here.
Yeah, I've just also seen Bellon. It looked like he went into the, may have misjudged it a little bit, went into the bridge section and just kind of went straight forward onto it. It's still out at the moment.
Round the outside. Sorry, Evo trying to go round the outside of Emperor. Sorry to interrupt you, but he's managed to get himself up onto the inside line, and he gets caught on the curb though again, and Emperor runs into the wall actually as he goes back round the outside, and that could, also on the soft tyres, so that could again, just like LFC, be a huge compromiser to his race.
So what Mack has actually said is it's not even Karkinen's car, it was just a piece of barrier in the track, so it looks like it's just glitched for Maka, and Codemasters basically at it again. I'm not even surprised at this point. Not surprised.
Anyway, we've got a bit of a train now between some cars that have had issues. Adrian having a little look on the inside of Bell in there, and he's got the two Mercedes right behind there. You can see James and Brie. Of course, Brie was in the wall at the beginning of the race. He's now side by side with his teammate James on the inside of the track. Brie trying to go around the outside. They just about keep it clean. That was very tight between them. Now going down into the third sector. Is Brie going to be able to get ahead? It's a terrible camera angle here, but round the outside he goes, and he just about gets it. That's really good driving, and he's going to try and get Bellon almost. Bellon covers it off nicely, runs wide though, and that could be. He sweeps round the outside, and he gets it.
Adri's oh no, sorry, not Adri. Morgan has actually managed to make the place up as well on Hammers. Managed to go down the inside of him on the bridge section. So that was a very, very good move from him, to say the least. Heated is actually obviously just pit, as you've seen. Where is he going to come? I think he's going to come up behind Jabbo.
He's going to be behind this train of cars, so maybe not the best for him. You see how hard they were battling, as battling is going to continue as Ham is up to the outside of Bellon, going down into turn 4. They're side by side all the way through. Just keep it out the wall. Does the Mercedes now? It's a drag race between the two of them. Bellon tucks back into the slipstream, and they almost desync each other. As you can see, tucking back in. Is he going to go for it from one way back? No, he doesn't. He hangs back. James up into P12 after a very unfortunate last lap where he lost out to a couple of drivers. So now he's back on it, and he's going to try and chase down Morgan up ahead. Yeah,
a little bit of a battle as well for P6 between Eisten, Emperor and Ibo. I think Eisten managed to just get past Ibo and Emperor. Look like they've run both wide. I think he managed to take both of them on the same corner, which now means that he is chasing down Robert, who Robert is on, I think, an older set of soft tyres, but Eisten's actually on an ultra soft.
No, Robert is actually on 2-lap old soft tyres. He did start on the hypers, remember? So now he's switched onto the softs, and he is going to have a very difficult task of taking them all the way to the end of the race. Old School has done a similar thing, and he's now on the back of Ryan, who's inherited a podium pit place after all the pit stops and some others. Of course, that's not a net position. Now he's going to come under pressure from Old School. He switches to the inside, down on the run down towards turn 1. He's got the DRS. He should have it done before the braking zone. Nice and late on the brakes. Old School goes up to P3. He's not lost much time behind that Toro Rosso.
Now he's just got to make the mission of trying to catch up to Coco. He's 35 seconds behind him.
Evo goes for it. Oh, he had a little look at Emperor. He's very late on the brakes into turn 1, and that's going to allow Adri to have a run at him. He gets a penalty for cutting the corner by mounting the curb there, and now Adri onto the inside. He's able to get it done, and Brie, trying to follow through, and he manages to get it. Now he's tucked in underneath the rear wing of that Red Bull, but I think he's going to be too far back, and actually it was the camera angle that made it look a bit more exciting and dramatic than it did. Adri gets very close to the back of Emperor under braking there, and Emperor has been, Emperor and Evo have been so close together on the track this whole race, and obviously Adri and Bree, who are real front runners in this league, trying to pick their way through. As Adri is gonna have a little look. Oh, he hits him, and he goes into the wall, and that's he got very minor damage, I think, after that mistake. But Bree has taken advantage of that. He's up into P7 now, icing up the road for him.
Yeah, I couldn't see that properly because my camera angle decided it was not a good angle from that at all. But all I saw was Adri just running wide, taking Emperor with him, and Bree just swooping in and taking in the positions from them. As I said, Iceland's got a pit again because he's now on a set of the ultra soft tyres. Ryan has still yet to make his stop, along with Wave. Wave 33 seconds ahead. Coco has actually made his stop. Old School has just come around the final corner. So Coco has managed to overcut Old School by quite some margin. Ryan is also just coming into the pits as we speak.
Old School may have had a wing fix in the pits, I'm not sure. He is about 8 seconds off the Sauber, his championship rival. So I don't think Old School's going to mind this too much. He's just going to have to dial in the laps. Coco, if Wave is going to try and stick it out a bit longer, if I were him, I'd pit this lap and just get it out of the way. Make sure that Coco, who was, to be fair, quite far off him, so I don't expect it. As anyway, and more important, and more, well, not more important necessarily, but more dramatic things happening on the track as James runs a bit wide there. That's going to allow Jabo to get up and alongside him, down, I believe it's Bravos Boulevard, as they go down there, and as he just got in front, and now Heated trying to follow through behind the Haas, but he's covered off very nicely by James, who mounts a lot of the inside curve, and he's on the Ultras, and he tries to come back at Jabo, down the inside, they just come together a bit slightly, and Emperor picks up a penalty, but it's Jabo on the inside, Heated with a lot of oversteer. That's going to give LFC a chance. They're going to be up alongside him as they're up ahead. James down the inside of Jabo. They're all going side by side here. Look at this, 4 cars right together on the track, and James gets pushed wide by Jabo. LFC and Heated still side by side going into the hairpin. LFC gets tagged a little bit, and now he's going to get caught up behind. Unbelievable racing between these 4, and it's not over yet. Up to the outside goes James. They make a big contact with Jabo, and Heaton's looking and trying to get through. Round the outside goes the Mercedes. They touch a little bit, going down into the 3rd sector. James gets in front. Heated trying to follow through. James runs wide. I don't know what's going on here. There's just too much to cover.
Jabo's just trying to undercut it.
Jabo on the inside. This is such a scary place to go side by side. Have they made it work? Still wheel to wheel, they make more contact. This is like bumper cars. Oh, it's big contact now. Heated has tagged James, and after how close they were racing, that was pretty much inevitable, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was really close. So looking at it from earlier, LFC looked like he could have made a fantastic move on Heated, but didn't manage to obviously get it stuck. Due to obviously the other drivers just up ahead that were battling and got stuck behind them. Heated obviously managed to get past him and then got hit as well, or LFC got hit by him as well. Jabo and Heated look like they're also in a battle for P9 now. So someone else
going to pull to the inside, underneath into the kink there, and that's a nice easy move for Heated. Jabo has a little look on the brakes, but not quite close enough. And Heated's got much fresher tyres, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to pull out the gap. As we have our race leader, Wave and Tail, into the pits for presumably the soft tyres.
Yeah, I would be shocked if he goes with anything else. Does look like it is a soft, yeah, it is the soft tyres, so that was intense. That was just for 1 point. That was intense.
Mental. These guys just going at it, and unbelievable. It looks like Wave is going to come out with a decent enough gap to the Sauber of Coco. So he comes around, exits turn 3, and he's pretty comfortably ahead of the Sauber, about 6 seconds up the road. I think that he's now going to have slightly fresher tyres. I think he's got really good pace as well, so I think Wave has just got to keep the car out the barriers, and he should be on for a win here.
Yeah, as I said earlier on, this is Wave's race to basically lose. If he crashes, he will be absolutely devastated, but he has been so quick. I think he even said, I think Adri was even saying to me before that it's probably one of his most favourite races, if not his most favourite race.
Heated has managed to pick his way past Evo, and now he's having a go at Emperor, and these guys been side by side. Great switchback by Heated as Emperor runs wide. There's a bit of contact between them, and Heated though is able to pick off those two cars. Jabo following up, and LFC. These guys aren't making your job easy for it, but it's going at it for these lower points positions.
Yeah, it's very intense between these guys. Ivo trying to hold on to his dear life for a points position, even though he still needs to do a pit stop. Jabo going down the inside of Ivo. Ivo looking to see if he can maybe go back down the inside. He's not. He's sticking with the inside line though. Just let LFC pass, and now Ivo down into 11th position. Emperor, however, still in 8th position, just trying to hold on for dear life against Jabo, who is on, I say much older, is on 3 lap older, younger, soft tyres from Emperor. Jabo has been making a charge.
Yeah, and he is all over the back of the Williams, but he breaks up a penalty just as we are talking about him on the charge. He's going to have a look into the hairpin. That'd be a great move. They managed to... Oh, Emperor pinches him into the wall almost. That was very controversial and very aggressive from the Williams. As up to the outside now goes LFC. He does have a bit fresher tyres down the Haas, but he gets squeezed out a little bit. Can't quite get the move done. He backs off. Still stays in 10th. Jabo now, he's going to have to try and have another go at that Williams of Emperor.
Yeah, so we've got the battle obviously for P8 between these 4 cars. It is going to be interesting. Jabo looks down the inside. LFC was looking down the inside of Jabo. Jabo looks like he might try something, but he's not going to be able to. Emperor is just holding him up, and that's giving LFC the opportunity to go down the inside of Jabo. Is he going to be able to get the move done? He is. But he's ran wide, and Jabo's just gone straight down the inside. But LFC is going to have to DRS. He's going to go down the outside.
Onto the turn 1. Can he get that one done? He gets squeezed off the track by Jabo. That was very, very aggressive from the Haas driver. And it's understandable because he was really only under pressure in that position because he got held up by Emperor. Emperor frustrating Jabo, just like Sergei Sorokin was to Sergio Perez in real life, and we all know how that ended. But now, here comes Jabo. He's going to go very aggressive to the inside, and Robert out of the race. And now Jabo, he's going to be very forceful with the Williams, and LFC down the inside of both of them. And as he just made it down, Emperor up alongside him, and LFC picks up both of them. Down the inside goes Jabo as well, and both of them with sharp moves to get up into P8 and 9, and that's going to turn it up into P7 and 8 because Robert, from a decent points paying position, has unfortunately gone out.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for Robert. Both of the Force Indias are out of the race. Something that you obviously just don't want to see at all. So it's unfortunate for him. Robert, as I think he was in P4, but unfortunate for him. Bree has now made his way up to P4.
So now, interestingly, after all the chaos and unfortunate things for some, we've basically got, I believe, the top 5 in the championship. Actually, besides Dave, I think. They're now all somehow in the top 5 in the race.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. I think LFC had just got a massive bit of oversteer and hit in towards the bridge, losing a bit of his front wing. It's now giving Jabo the opportunity. I think LFC is going to come into the pits. Yeah, he's going to come into the pits. Well, try to come into the pits.
Oh dear, that's the second time in this race LFC has had a major setback from damage. As now Evo is going to have another attack at Emperor. This seems to be about the 17 millionth time in this race he's trying to get past him. As now Eiston is on the back of both of them. I'm very fresh. Oh, well, Evo's got in front of him. Oh, and Evo, he almost takes out Morgan as well. Ah, that's unlucky for the McLaren driver that was driving a fairly solid race, and now he's backwards, trying to stay out the way. He flicks it round, and he's going to be out. I believe he's got free scope to carry on now. I believe he just squeezed him too much. As now Eiston down the inside of Emperor. That's a nice easy move for him. And Morgan now, really important for him to try and follow through behind the Renault. He gets very close to the back of the Williams car, and Emperor again just going really defensive. Only making about the contact. That was very close. I believe that's the kind of contact model when you have front wheel to front wheel. The car on the outside always seems to just get a bit of a slide on, and luckily Morgan was able to save it, so good job from him. But he is now going to be frustrated behind that Williams, and is there going to be a dive on the inside, very nicely covered by Emperor, who, if I'm honest, I don't know why he's fighting these positions so hard. He gets a lot of oversteer. He may have got tapped by Morgan, and now they're going to be going side by side down into the third sector, but it's Morgan who's able to get in front He's up into P9.
Yeah, Eiston's already moved I think 2.5 seconds ahead of Morgan already. So he's made a good job of managing to get past him and is now on the hunt for Jabbo. Obviously, Eiston on 3-lap old soft tyres and Jabbo on 10-lap old soft tyres. So he's going to be on much fresher tyres. It says for me on the actual game though he's on ultra softs, but I think he is on the soft tyres.
Yep. I don't want to make you feel bad here, but we're not even halfway through this race yet.
Oh, bloody hell.
It's a crazy long race at Singapore. It probably should be about 22 laps or something, but no.
James is retired.
I believe, let's see.
Bridge.
I'm watching the Bridge. Yep, he's done it again. He's gone into that outside wall as we saw Karkinen do earlier, and Maka as well. So yeah, that's just really unfortunate for James, but his race had kind of gone downhill anyway, at least. As Ebo, as he pets, oh, he's got a stop-go for speeding, and that, well, it might not compromise him that much, actually, as he was already out of the points after his mistake earlier on. But he's now going to have to pit. They're not going to serve a stop-go because he just got it a couple of seconds ago. So he's going to get a front wing change onto the Ultras. I can't see him taking those to the end, to be honest. Not a chance, I don't think.
Yeah, James is even saying in the chat, a floating barrier at the bridge took him out, which is, I think, what Maka and Karkinen were both saying was the same thing.
Yeah.
So, Codemasters really need to sort their game out if they want to say that is quote-unquote esports ready.
To be fair, we don't seem to have these kind of issues a lot on esports. I don't know, maybe it's because it's on LAN. But either way, not quite gone in there. Morgan picks up a penalty. He's actually managed to work his way back into a points paying position after everything that's happened. And both he and Eiston on the charge as Jabo gets a bit out of shape going into the last part of the lap. And you can see that Eiston and Morgan now will both be looking to put pressure on that Haas driver.
Like I said, tyre temps are going to be playing into it. It looks like it is indeed. Eiston's got a much better run onto Jabo. He's going down the inside of Jabo and manages to get the move done. Jabo looking to see if he can do a switchback. He's going down to the inside of Eiston. I don't think he's going to be able to get the move done, but that's given Morgan the opportunity to go around the outside of Jabo. Morgan, I think, is managing to get the move done. He has. But I think Eiston might even get the... No, Eiston has not got DRS, but he is running very low on ERS. I think he's not even got any ERS left. So he's going to be under pressure from Morgan. Morgan, is he going to look to go on the inside? He isn't. He's just going to remain in P8, but manage to get the move done. Jabo is struggling. And we're going side by side again with Ryan and Emperor. Ryan going down the inside of Emperor. Ryan managing to get the move done. Goes a bit wide, but I think has managed to keep the move. Yep, he's managed to stick the move. Oh.
Well driven for Ryan. He's up into the points now on pretty fresh tyres, so I think Jabo is going to struggle to go to the end of the race, but we'll see how he's able to get on there. Bree as well. We're not really mentioning these guys at the front there. We've the main action has been further down the field. But yeah, Bree is running on 15 lap old softs, so him getting to the end, if he manages to take those to the end, that's going to be a major achievement for him. The gap between Wave and Coco has been pretty stagnant in this stint. It's been hovering around about 6 seconds, just under that mark there. But yeah, we've not really been paying, unfortunately for these guys, we've not really been paying attention. And I've just seen, we've got Ice and Morgan and Jabo running through that section, you can see that barrier that's sticking out. It's sticking out massively as well. So if you're someone that likes to go close to that wall to try and maximise the speed, that's just ruined it completely. So if you're just going down, as anyway, Morgan has a look at into turn 1 on Eiston. Eiston covers it aggressively but fairly, and he's able to maintain that P7 for now. And these guys quite far down the road from the guys up ahead, but they're still fighting hard over these positions. And if Morgan's able to stay close around this corner, he's able to flick himself to the inside. A lot of oversteer, but he's going to try it now underneath the bridge onto the kink, and they're side by side. Is Eiston going to try and hang it on the brakes? He does go very late on the brakes onto the inside, almost a little bit of wheel rubbing between the two of them, but looks like Morgan is able to cover it off nicely. He's up into P7, and we'll see if he's able to create a gap with actually 2 lap older tyres than the Renault, but maybe just a little bit more pace at this stage of the race.
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, the tyre temps, I think Eiston's running a bit too much high temps now, and also he allowed Morgan to cool down his tyres and has now managed to get past Eiston, so good job from him, obviously managing his tyre temps as well. It's just having a look as well. It's been very good for these two debutants. They've been putting on a show along with quite a few of the other lads as well. So it's been a very good race, and we have only just gotten really to the halfway point of this race. Up front, it's been very quiet. Wave just been having his own race. Coco been having his own race. Old School been having his own race. Bree having his own race. Adri having his own race. Same with Heated. It's more of just 7th and below. I've been having a lot of battles.
So obviously that's great for us and it's great for the viewers, but unfortunately it's not great for my voice. I can already feel it starting to go off.
Yeah.
These guys
Ibo's, sorry to interrupt you actually. Ibo's just put in the chat 15 minutes until there's rain.
Whoa.
So there's going to be rain towards the end of the race.
Well then again, do we trust Jeff to provide us with the weather forecast? I'm not quite sure.
As you said, he does lack quite a bit of brain cells.
Anyway, we've got Wave. He's actually behind Bellin on the track, and Williams does get out of the way quite nicely. The only thing that can really stop Wave, apart from major mistake, is he is actually, if you watch him there, if you look at his telemetry, he is running low on some fuel. So he is having to manage that, and but he has got full ERS, so I think he isn't running as quickly as he can. That explains why he hasn't pulled away hugely from Coco, because I think he knows that he has the pace, and he pretty much has enough in hand to manage to stay ahead of the Sauber quite comfortably.
Yeah, so he's going to be trying to do some fuel saving. He's been doing massive ERS saving. He's not using any of it at all whatsoever. So he's just waiting to see if he's going to end up getting pressured from Coco. I mean, who knows? There could potentially be like another pit stop that could happen. And then just trying to save it for that. Who knows?
Anyway, Morgan and Eyston still very close on the track, just over a second covering these two guys. They both had, I believe they both had some sort of incident early on. It's quite hard to keep up with all the chaos, so I apologise if I'm wrong on that. But they've just managed to work their way up, making the overtakes, taking advantage of other people's misfortune, and now they're right together on the track, and both of them running well from the points. I think they're having debuts that they could be very happy with.
Yeah, obviously, other than Morgan, I think Eyston could be pretty happy with how he's done at the moment. But Morgan, he qualified in P2, he was having such a solid start of the race, and then he got Dave bombed, as people in the chat are loving to say.
we always love our chat. They have just the greatest puns, don't they?
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys hugely. So we thank you for your entertainment for us. As the race is beginning to calm down a little bit now, as I believe these guys are separated due to some incidents. So still the closest fight on track is between Morgan and Eyston. These guys running together. So in a way, it's a bit unfortunate because we don't have as much to commentate on. But at the same time, I think the two of us deserve a bit of a break after the chaos that was ensuing about 7 or 8 laps ago.
Yeah, the first few laps were absolutely intense. Obviously, as you said, now it's all calmed down. Close battle on track, as you said, is Eyston and Morgan. Eyston is losing out massively. I think he may have just got a bit of front wing damage as well. So I think he's going to be losing out a lot more than what we were planning to. It's now actually turned to LFC and Emperor. I saw LFC get past. Oh, it was past Bellin. My apologies. LFC got past Bellin a little bit earlier, and is now on the hunt for his teammate in the Williams of Emperor. So it's going to be interesting.
Williams just let Coco through. The man currently P2 both this race and in the championship. So he's quite wise to that, and he lets him through. I'm sure his teammate will be violently swearing at him if they're in a chat together.
Oh, Yellow's in sector 2. Oh, I think that may have been someone Ibo just letting someone through.
Yeah, he's actually now very close to Bellin on the track. Bellin goes straight down the inside of him. Evo ran very wide through that section, so he's now dropped back, and after what was looking like a pretty promising start to this race, it just seems to have gone downhill for him.
Yeah, Emperor's actually just come into the pit. So Emperor's done his stint on the soft tyres. It's just getting his
Yep.
front wing changed as well and going onto the ultra soft tyres.
Yep, so he's gonna, after a very long stint on those softs and... Sorry?
Actually, I think Old School may have made a mistake. Because Bree is now 2 seconds behind him.
Ooh. We'll see what happens there too, this gap. This is pretty significant because it's for a podium position. If Old School, if he's picked up a bit of damage, then that might put Bree all over him. You can see he's closing as well there. You can see that gap coming down and down now, down to about 2 seconds. And there could be a real battle, and I'm not going to say heating up because that's going to invite our good friends in the chat to post their opinion. But yeah, Old School just trying to dial it in now. The gap seems to have stabilised, but we'll see if Bree is able to further chip into that gap. But he does have much older tyres than the Ferrari man, and in fact, I'd be surprised if he's able to keep those going to the end. 19 laps old now, and with over 10 laps still to go, he's gonna have a struggle, I think.
Yeah, Old School will be a little bit cheesed off if he doesn't manage to get if Bree manages to actually get past him. See what I did there? Yeah, no, Bree is on the charge for Old School. I think he's managed to preserve his tyres really well, considering he's done 19 laps on them and is still managing to catch up to the championship leader. Bree has just been doing exceptionally well on his past few races, and he's continuing to show it.
And you can see the gap just coming down and down. This is rapidly degrading here for Old School. That gap is now just over a second.
Old School in the pit, and Bree in the pit.
They're both going to go into the pit. So what this could do is promote Mr. Adri Locked Up. Adri Locked Up. Okay. I've just lost my ability to speak English. But could promote Adri up into P3 on the road, but maintaining that against two very, very fast ultra soft runners. That's going to be difficult for him. But he is up into P3, and he's going to have a hard task of defending that position.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to do when they're coming out of the pits. I think these two are going to be battling as well, but they need to catch up to Adri if they want to have any chance of a podium position. I could be wrong. I think I saw Adri get a... Oh! Eyston's retired from a session. Where's he binned it?
I bet he must have hit
the bridge.
That wall.
It's probably at the bridge.
Yep,
it's at the bridge.
Gabo's going to have to be careful. Yep, he's to hit that wall that just sticks out. That's caught off so many drivers now. I mean, I'm not one to slate Codemasters, but come on, this has ruined so many people's races. And now Eyston has dropped from a very good result for his debut, and he's now dropping back to getting 0 points from this race. They've got the two Williams paying it out. This is the closest battle on track now, and it's Emperor on the inside of his teammate. These guys are very similar age of tyres, and Bellum is just about able to fend him off there for P13. And these guys have got Ibo right in front of them, but unfortunately there's almost a minute gap ahead of Ibo to the cars ahead. So actually that might have been to Eyston's. That gap might be a bit smaller. Now we'll see Ibo rounding Rowdy Ace 26 seconds behind the nearest car. But Bree, look at where he is, look at where Old School is, just half a second between them on the track as they go round underneath the tunnel.
Yeah, it is a very close battle. This is for P4 on the grid. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to manage to... well, they're obviously going to be battling, but are they going to be able to catch up to Mr. Adri Lockdock? They are 10 seconds behind him, and they've got 8 laps to do it.
Very, very interesting. So this is an interesting dilemma for Bree, because in these last few laps, Old School picks up a penalty as well, but Bree has looked very rapid in these last few laps, chasing down the Ferrari driver, and he's got to make a call here. Does he go for it early, try and get past him quickly, but risk himself losing time? We're going to get an answer in a second. He's got the slipstream from the championship leader. I think he's going to be too far back though, going into the second sector. He hangs back. Bree, I've noticed in these last few races, he's a very sensible driver. He doesn't rush his overtakes very much, and he's very clean because he doesn't pick up many penalties either. And this approach, as they catch Adri, it could lead him to get another podium again. It's third in a row, I believe.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if he's going to manage to get the podium position done. Right on the back of Old School. Don't think he's going to manage to get it done just yet, but he is going to have a much better run than he is.
He's in overtake mode, but so is Old School. Old School are running low on ERS to the outside. Goes Bree, and if he could just hold it there, get nice traction, he's going to be up alongside him. Old School squeezes him out aggressively, and he's able to maintain that position. And Old School is not lying down and accepting that Mercedes driver going through.
Meanwhile, all of this happening, they are catching up to Adri. The gap was about 10 seconds, I think 2 laps ago. It's now down to 8 seconds.
Are they going to be able to catch him in time, though? That is the question. As Coco and Wave, they've really been at a class of their own. Not necessarily in terms of pace, they both had excellent pace as well, but just they're really the only drivers that have not had major incidents. So I'd say they thoroughly deserve to be in the positions they've been in. They've just kept it clean, as of, well, so far at least, and I think the 41-second gap, it kind of just shows around the track like Singapore. And Old School! He's got into the, he's just about managed to, he's managed to somehow not be out, but that has ruined his chances of a podium here. So this is huge for the championship with Coco in P2. Old School, surely he's going to have to pit, and he's going to lose out to Heated, Morgan as well perhaps. So this is a disaster for the Ferrari, and I'm sure Coco, if he does know about this, he is going to be absolutely ecstatic with this. Yeah,
Coco, I think, is going to move into the championship lead, even if it stands just how it is at the moment. Am I right in saying that, actually? 18,
no, I think there's a 13-point gap, so he's not quite there yet. But with Old School, he might try and stick it out and just try and preserve his P5. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Heated has already managed to chase down that gap quite a fair bit. I think Old School has a fair amount of damage, and that is, we don't really see him stacking it into the wall very often. But now the real question is, can Bree chase down that Red Bull of Adri? The gap now just 4 seconds. Bree is absolutely flying in these last few laps, really on it, and he's got a lot more ERS than the Red Bull as well. So Bree, again, just coming on strong here and really looking good as he pumps in a 38.7, and that is going to be making that Red Bull of Adri very nervous.
Yeah, he is only 3. It's gone down 3 seconds. It's now 3 seconds. Only 3 seconds gap. It was literally 4 seconds in just the last sector. He's catching him at the second sector.
Crazy.
Yeah, you can see Adri just in the front there. Bree is on the charge to try and get this podium position. I'm right in saying that Adri has got a time penalty as well.
Adri's hit Adri has hit a slow Williams there. I'm not sure who that is. That was Emperor. So Adri has just got damage from hitting that Williams. It was just parked on the outside. That's so unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. And now Bree, you'd imagine that half P3 is going to be easy pickings for him, because look at how slow Adri is going. And he must have seen the debris. He knows the pace of the Red Bull driver, and now the Mercedes into the slipstream. Adri doesn't even fight it. He pulls out of the way. Bree up into P3, and I think he'll be able to stay there.
Yeah, I think this is podium's already been decided, unless one of them makes a mistake. It's very unfortunate for Adri. It's happened a lot in this race with this Williams driver in particular, Emperor. He's been basically been blocking people, been shoving them into a wall, defending aggressive. It's not a good showing from the Williams driver, if I'm honest.
Yep.
It's not a good showing at all. And it's now obviously caused Adri to lose that podium position. Is he going to pit?
And then
no, he will stay out.
Got LFC now. LFC, and this is believed as the closest battle on track. He's on the back of Ryan. Ryan has had a pretty quiet race up to this point, I've got to say. So, but now he is going to have some action, as he's now got that Ferrari all over him. And Morgan is out. Has he done what I think he's done?
No, not on the bridge, not on the bridge.
Morgan.
He might have been at the bridge. Jabba was 36 seconds behind him. It may have been at the bridge. I think the bridge has just taken another victim. And Coco's just got a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, so we'll see in a second, because I'm watching Jabo right now, heading through this section. And here he comes now under the bridge. Easton has jumped out the session, but let's see.
Yeah. Bridge.
Yep.
Bridge.
Oh man, this has caught so many victims in this race. Karkin and Naka and Who else was it? James, Easton, Morgan, maybe even Robert as well. I don't know. It's caught so many victims. Just that wall that's sticking out because you practice for a race and you know like a line to take through that corner, and when it just gets altered by something that's completely out of your control, that is going to catch you out eventually. That's why LFC goes aggressive down the inside of Ryan, and he's able to get the move done up into P8, managing to take advantage of some issues from other people, despite a couple of incidents for himself. LFC up into P8, and I think unless he chases down Jabo, who to be fair is going very, very slowly.
Oh, yellows. Sorry to interrupt you.
That was
Bellin. It was Bellin with, I think, Old School. Yeah.
Yeah, Old School might have picked up even more damage. It looked like he was going to be able to hang on to that position. Adri as well has decided to stick it out despite the damage that he's got. Trying to hold on to that P4 in these last few laps. As what else we got on the track? So Ryan's still within our second of LFC. LFC though pulling away quickly. And he could be on the charge here, you know, with Jabo on 22 lap old, and same with Adri on 23 lap old softs. These guys are going to be the ones that are going to be pushing the tyres right to the very limit. And I'm not sure if they're going to get punctures because I think they should be fine on that front unless they're eating through their tyres. Yes, these guys are going to be struggling for pace, and I think that we could be seeing likes of Heated even coming into play, as he is chasing down Old School very quickly, as we know Old School does have a damaged car underneath him. 7 seconds the gap between them. Is there going to be a change of position for P5? We'll wait and see.
I think Old School did have a penalty. I could be wrong. I think Old School does have a penalty. I think Heated may have gotten a penalty as well going into the pits. So
yeah,
you're best off just checking to see what the penalties are looking like.
Ooh. Okay, I've just looked at Adri. He has 3 penalties and another couple of warnings, so it's not going great for him. Old School
Rain
is on 1. Bree.
Rain.
Bree. Sorry?
There's rain.
Sorry, it's raining. Oh. Wow, what switch up at the end of this race. So very light rain. I don't think it's going to get to the point where we're going to be seeing people changing tyres, but it is going to be an extra challenge for these drivers now, so they're going to have to take it a little bit easier. And for those damaged cars, it might not, for the likes of Old School and Adri who are kind of limping home, it might not actually be too bad for them, because now there's going to be less of an impact, there's going to be less of an emphasis on the downforce of the cars. So these guys might actually, their losses might be cut by this rain, so I think they're going to be quite thankful for that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what is going to be happening. Can't believe the comments read my message from what? Oh, the bridge is reaching Aldoro levels. It's getting there.
Maybe it was Aldoro that pushed it out.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was. If you message up, these give themselves a shout out. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, Maka, as a long time ago, I want this message aired. Give yourselves a shout out for the amazing commentary you do every week. Cheers guys, all your hard work is appreciated by everyone. Thank you very much for that, Maka. It's always fun watching these races. We'll see as it looks like it's dying down now. Yeah, it is always a pleasure trying to do these commentating on these races. It's always very fun commentating on these, because I know D3 is probably, I'd say, the closest division out of the 3 in PRL at the moment.
I mean, definitely in terms of the championship fight, I don't think that can be denied. Especially, it's going to be even closer after this race with Coco in P2 and Old School down in P5. I believe that there won't be any changes amongst these guys. Looks like Heated isn't catching Old School quickly enough. Old School does have 1 penalty. Heated has 2 warnings, so very well done from him. I believe both he and Bree haven't picked up penalties as of yet, so very nicely done from them, being able to keep it clean in this race so far.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how. I wonder if the rain will actually play any part in the final few laps, and if for whatever reason one of the front runners could potentially lose it on these last laps.
Well, with the gap that especially Coco has got, he's got nearly a 40-second gap to Bree. I don't imagine either of the top two are going to be pushing particularly hard. They're probably just nursing at home. And Wave has still not using any ERS at all. He is just cruising. He's managed to get his fuel back on track, so I think Wave is just trying to wrap this up. He's had the pace on everyone else today and the consistency, so it's been a very dominant drive from him.
Yeah, he has had a very good drive indeed. Looking at it, LFC is only 4 seconds behind Jabbo. And Jabbo, does he have any penalties when you saw?
I will have a look. So, Jabbo, currently sitting in P7. Ooh, he has 2 penalties so far.
What about LFC?
LFC also has 2 penalties. So these guys are completely even on that front. Heated has, unfortunately for him, he's ruined the clean streak by picking up a penalty, but that's not really going to have any impact on his race with a 52-second gap to the cars behind, so I don't think that's going to be a big worry for him.
In all honesty, it could have done. He's only 4 seconds behind Old School.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right on that, yeah, because Heated... Well, Heated, yeah, he hadn't picked up a penalty up until that, so you're right on that actually. Let's go. Yeah, that's actually been a huge impact on his race actually.
Yeah.
I say that because now he's not really got much of a chance of chasing down that Ferrari.
I mean, he's only 3 seconds behind him. There's still another lap to go in this race. I'll say that, another 2 laps to go in this race for them.
Yeah.
He's on the charge. He's got it down to 3 seconds.
But that, I think he'll be ruining that because, yeah, because now he's got very equal penalties. He's got completely equal penalties with Old School. He is quicker, and we know Old School has damage, but I just don't think he's getting there quickly enough. So I think that he'll just run out of time, unfortunately. But Wave now rounding the final lap. And he's got that Williams in front of him. Hopefully he gets out of the way. We don't want to be seeing a leader getting taken out on the final lap. Wave has navigated that nicely. He's just on his way. He's had a very quiet race. Just got the lead on the first lap. Well, managed to defend the lead on the first lap. And he's really never looked back. And he is cruising to a very dominant victory.
I think he's just stayed first throughout the entire race. No one's overtaking him or anything. Even when he came into the pits, he was still, what, 7 or 8 seconds ahead? So
yep.
It has been a very dominant race from Wave as a whole. So we'll just look at these last few corners.
We have got a couple of battles shaping up here. Heated is actually catching Old School very rapidly, and there's still another lap to go, and there's a 1.5 seconds between them. Even closer is between Jabbo and LFC, the P7. So this race, despite the leaders kind of cruising around, there's still battles going on further down the field. LFC very close to Jabbo now.
But here we go, Wave just coming around the final 2 corners now. And it is Mr. Wave Intel winning once again for PRL. Winning at the Singapore Grand Prix. Coco now just about to come across these 2 final corners as well. Coming home for P2. Bree, who's about 30 seconds down the road, just starting in Sector 3 now. I believe that's where he's going to finish it, but we look to this battle for P5 between Heated and Old School. Heated is only 0.5 seconds behind him now, along with LFC, only 0.5 seconds behind Jabbo, but they are coming along the final chicane now. I don't think LFC is going to be able to get the move done unless Jabbo has more penalties than LFC. I don't think he has gained any more though, but...
Over like Jabbo,
he does.
Had the unfair stop and go. He would have got there as well without the stop and go. Oh, Jabbo will be ruining speeding in that pit lane. As Andrew looks like he's going to cruise home in P4, but the real battle is on now for P5. Old School has managed to just about eke out a gap. These guys completely equal on penalties. It's a completely square fight between the 2 of them. Heated trying desperately to try and get up onto the back of the championship leader. But is it going to quite happen for him? They flick it round, going down now into the final sector. Big oversteer moment for Heated. I don't think he's going to be able to get through it. He's really pushing him, and is he going to go for it into the final corner? He takes as much speed as he can, and yeah, I think that he got a bit desperate there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heated doesn't quite get it. Emperor has done I don't. He always seems to do this. He just sticks on those intermediate tires. I guess for the banter. I don't know. I mean, it is raining, but it's not inters. I'm sorry, mate. But yeah, he's just cruising home now. For a very action-packed first part of the race, but a very quiet second part of the race for him. And he's cruising home now for P11.
Yeah, so may as well go for it now because obviously we know what the results are as we just watch Emperor coming around the final corners now. So congratulations to Wave for winning at the Singapore Grand Prix with Coco in P2, Bree in P3. His third podium, as you said. Adri in P4, Old School in P5. Heated in P6. It was so close between him and Old School at the end then. I think LFC ended up finishing in 7th in the end as well. So, very good result from him.
Wave, maybe, I mean, we're not saying he's quite out of the championship fight just yet. He has got a very outside chance, but if he continues to win races, before long he could be in that fight. So Wave Intel takes the victory. Coco in second place, I think he can be very, very pleased with that. I don't think he had the pace to really achieve anything better today. So, a big championship race there. Coco in P2, 3 places ahead of his rival Old School.
Yeah, so it is 5 points for the championship leader between Coco and Old School. But looking at the race classification, we've got Wave finishing in first, as I said, Coco in second, Bree in third, Adri in fourth, Old School in fifth, Heated sixth, LFC in seventh, Jabbo in eighth with the unserved stop and go penalty. Ryan in P9 and Ibo managing to get a point. So both LFC and Ibo again in the point position. So congratulations to them again. Emperor in P11. Bellin in 12th, Morgan in 13th, Eiston, in fact, Morgan, Eiston, James, Maka, Karkanen all got taken up by who I think is the driver of the day, the good old Wool.
It's proudly sponsored by Eldoro.
More than likely. But any final words?
Yeah, so very chaotic race at Singapore. Didn't really expect anything less, to be honest. And I'm not actually sure what's up next. I believe it might be Japan. Am I right in saying that?
I think it's Russia. I think it's Russia.
Russia, okay. Okay, thanks for that. So Russia next up. Should be a less incident-packed race than we've just had there. A track that I actually enjoy driving. I don't think it produces the best racing necessarily, but I think it's a decent track to drive. Hopefully these guys are able to tackle it nicely and provide us with more good racing. D3 rounds off the Singapore Grand Prix.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching this race. It was, as Tam said, very chaotic at the start. Eased out towards the end, towards the middle of it, but then started to pick back up in the end. It was a very good race overall. Again, thank you for tuning in to watch the Singapore Grand Prix. We will see you guys next week for what I believe is the Russian Grand Prix.